good evening to all pro wrestling fans of all shapes and sizes from all around the world. Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, for tonight's episode, gonna be reviewing, that's right, reviewing Barb Sasaki's Crazy Fest and Sareee-ism Chapter 7. That's right. Two shows that happened on the same day, two different venues. One was pretty wild, and the other was very solid. So, gonna review both of those shows. Before I get started, I want to give a special shout out. The return of Kizuna Tanaka. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Kizuna Tanaka, the daughter of Minoru Tanaka, recently returned to in-ring action at Marigold. She had her return match against Nagisa Nozaki. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to win, but still, good to see her back in the ring. She looked like she was very emotional, totally understandable. But yeah, this is her first match this year. That's right, her first match this year. She still had some of the kinesio tape on her back, but hey, at least she's not in a back brace. So hey, that's really good. But definitely happy to see Kizuna Tanaka return to the ring. And also at that show, I did see Hummingbird as well. She didn't compete, but I did see Hummingbird. And hopefully Hummingbird will be returning soon, because she's another one that I definitely liked. But welcome back, Kizuna Tanaka. Very glad that she's back in the ring. So hopefully they can continue to get her going. And yeah, get her back into the mix of things. Okay, so the first show we're going to start off with is Barb Sasaki's Refereeing Life 25th anniversary show called Crazy Fest, which took place yesterday, March 10th, at Corcoran Hall, and it was quite a wild show, packed full of death matches and pretty much matches with wacky stipulations. So it was quite loaded. So let's go ahead and dive. Let's go ahead and dive into this show, because it was a wild one. So let's get started with the first match. See if I can get the first match. Here we go. Okay. So the first match, we had Yusaku Ito, which is who that is on the right, face off against a mystery opponent that pretty much wasn't revealed until pretty much the start of the match. That mystery opponent ended up being Kaito Ishida. So this turned into a singles match between Yusaku Ito and Kaito Ishida. Pretty decent match. Definitely went back and forth. Match was only 7 minutes and some change, so it wasn't a very long match. As a matter of fact, it was the shortest out of all of the matches, but it was okay. I'm not gonna be too critical. I don't know the two competitors that well, but it was pretty back and forth. But when it came down to it, and even saw Yusaku Ito used some black mist in the face of Kaito Ishida, which I thought would have really helped him to gain the victory, but it didn't end up doing that, surprisingly. But Kaito Ishida ends up pinning Yusaku Ito with a half tiger suplex for the 1-2-3 and the victory. So, yeah, not how I saw that match finishing, but yeah. Kaito Ishida picks up the victory in the opening match. Alrighty, let's move on to our next match. Let's see. Here we go. This, yeah. Let me just, yeah. Okay, next up, we had ourselves a tag team match where we had the team of Hiromu Takahashi and Takayuki Ueki taking on the Brahman brothers, made up of Brahman K and Brahman Shu. Oh man, I gotta keep it real with you. This match was nasty. I was not a fan of this match at all. Was not a fan of this match. It went almost 12 and a half minutes. I was not digging this match. Just too much nasty stuff happened. I mean, it started off kind of funny, especially with Hiromu Takahashi, pretty much breaking out into a bathing suit, like swimsuit, and then him getting splashed with water repeatedly. And then seeing, I don't know if that was margarine, butter, or whatever spread put all over Ueki's body, and just having like the Brahman brothers like faces rubbed onto. Oh man, it was just weird. It was weird. And then what really set me off was when one of the Brahman brothers spit that green slime into the mouth of Hiromu Takahashi. I was just like, okay, nah, nope, that was it for me. That was it for me. Like stuff like that, just with any sort of like spitting or anything like that. That's nasty. That's nasty. I don't care if it's meant to be funny or not. That's straight nasty. That's nasty. And just, yeah. I was not a fan of this match. I wish it didn't last as long as it did, but I did not like this match at all. A 0 out of 10. I did not like this match at all. I would have been better off if this match had never happened. With the kind of stuff that took place in this match, wish it would have never happened. Anyway, Hiromu pins Brahman Shu with a schoolboy for the 1-2-3. I was just glad it was over. I'm just glad it was over. But yeah, that match was trash. Was started off what was a little bit funny, and then it just turned out to be flat out nasty. It reminded me of DDT, and I have very mixed feelings about DDT, and y'all know why. Those that have seen my videos know why. Because I'm sorry, that mess is nasty. Okay. Anyway. Goodness gracious. Okay. Next up, which they didn't really do a graphic for this one, but I'll just go into detail. The next match, they had a Scramble Bunkhouse Deathmatch, and it was in the form of a triple threat tag match. A triple threat tag Scramble Bunkhouse Deathmatch. And we didn't know what the teams were until the start of the match. So, the teams we ended up having, we had the team of Abdullah Kobayashi and Tomoaki Honma versus Isami Kodaka and Yuko Miyamoto versus Takashi Sasaki and Toru Sugiura. Now, I am familiar with Takashi Sasaki. I actually got to see him at the Prominence show that I went to, which was the last show that I went to when I was in Japan. Match was pretty good. Was a little over 10 minutes. Felt like it probably could have been longer, especially for it being a death match. But I thought it was alright. A lot of interesting spots, especially weaponry being used. But the weird thing was seeing Tomoaki Honma do the kokeshi on top of the guy with the barbed wire bat as well. Just, I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? But, of course, he got busted open anyway. But, like, yeah, that was a weird spot. It was a really weird spot. But Yuko Miyamoto, this was a pretty impressive finish. Pinned Takashi Sasaki after hitting a diving moonsault onto him on top of the barbed wire bat. And then pinned him for the 3 count. So, Isami Kodaka and Yuko Miyamoto pick up the victory. That was a pretty cool finish. That diving moonsault landing on the barbed wire bat. That was a pretty cool finish. But, yeah, not bad. Alright, next up, we had a hardcore street fight. This was another one that, this was a trios style match, and mystery competitors, we didn't find out who they were until the start of the match. So, team number 1 ended up being Daiju Wakamatsu, Hideyoshi Kamitani, and Issei Onitsuka, and they took on the team of Daisuke Sasaki, Shuji Ishikawa, and Violent Jack. This match was pretty much right at the 10-minute mark. Match was alright, but I felt like it was kind of one-sided. You know, I felt like that second team clearly had the advantage. Daisuke Sasaki, Shuji Ishikawa, Violent Jack. I felt like they had the advantage throughout the whole match. But, you know, match was alright. It just felt kind of one-sided. It really felt one-sided. And Daisuke Sasaki had a much different ring gear than he usually has. You know, kind of made him look like one of those Bushido warriors or one of those, like, samurai warriors, just with the long pants, and you know, it was very unique. But decent match. Shuji Ishikawa got the victory for his team, pinning Issei Onitsuka after hitting a devastating Splash Mountain powerbomb. Pinned them for the 1-2-3. Daisuke Sasaki, Shuji Ishikawa, Violent Jack pick up the victory. Not really surprised considering how it just looked pretty one-sided. So, that's really my take on that. Okay, next up. Now this next match was actually pretty fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this match from start to finish. Check it out. Alright, so we had the Ladies of Stardom in action. This was a bring a weapon, falls count anywhere match. Trio style. You had Stars versus Neo Genesis. So it stars, you had Mayu Iwatani, Saya Ida, and Hazuki versus Neo Genesis, Starlight Kid, Azumi, and Mei Sarah. This was quite a fun match. All sorts of interesting weapons were brought to the table. I mean, Saya Ida was dressed up as some sort of anime character, I think, and she had the berserk sword. Mayu Iwatani brought out those like brown scrubbers. I don't know what the heck those things are. They look like scrubbers. Hazuki brought out Koguma as her weapon because she's dressed as a bear. Thought that was pretty funny. Mei Sarah had like a knife, and then ended up bringing out this big katana sword, like this crazy sword. But yeah, it was just wacky. It was really wacky. But you know what? It was cool. It was really cool. It looked like, I think Azumi brought out like, I don't know if it was like a laser baton or like a laser sword or something like that. But yeah, it was quite a funny match, and it was really cool seeing the spot with Saya Ida and Mei Sarah clashing swords, and she pretty much destroyed Saya Ida's berserk sword, which I think was only a prop, and I think Mei Sarah's sword was actually real. So that was a pretty funny spot. But yeah, this was a fun match, and of course, you know, Koguma ended up getting involved because, you know, that was Hazuki's weapon. So it was really funny. It was a very wacky, fun, entertaining match with the ladies of Stardom. Let's see. The match lasted about 14 minutes and 44 seconds. But yeah, it was pretty fun. Got to see the ladies kind of wrestle all around Korakuen Hall, even up in the upper seats and stuff like that. So that was really cool to see. But yeah, it was a very fun, entertaining, wacky match. So that was really cool. Mayu Iwatani got the victory for Stars, pinning Mei Sarah after hitting the diving moonsault onto the little batch of scrubbers, those brown scrubbers. Or if somebody actually knows what those are, please tell me, because I don't think that's what they are, but they could be. But Stars picked up the victory in this match. Okay, next up, still keeping the hardcore theme with this next match. We had ourselves a TLC no disqualification match between these two deathmatch queens, as we had Rina Yamashita versus Suzu Suzuki. And you know, it's been a while since Suzu has done, you know, a hardcore death match type of match. I think the last one she did was against I want to say it was against Great Okan at Historic Crossover 2. I think that was the last time she did that. But this match was just a little under 20 minutes. Not quite 20 minutes. But this was a great back and forth match. Both ladies went at it with tables and chairs and ladders and the works. They even like stapled, you know, used like the staple gun and everything, and just both ladies were getting wild and crazy. Both got busted open, and it was great. It was a great match. Both of these ladies just really went at it, and you know, Suzu Suzuki was back in her element and definitely did not miss a beat. And Rina Yamashita did her thing. You know, it was good seeing both of these ladies go at it, because for so long they were both well known for their death matches, especially when Suzuki used to be with Prominence. But, you know, it's not that we were never going to see Suzu do another death match or hardcore match. It's just we weren't going to see it as much, especially now that she's in Stardom. So, overall, solid match. Both these ladies looked excellent. But Rina Yamashita picked up the victory, pinning Suzuki for the 3 count after hitting a running 3 onto a stack of chairs. So, solid match, great sportsmanship even afterwards from both ladies. But yeah, Rina Yamashita walks away with the victory. And then the main event of Crazy Fest. And it definitely got crazy. You had a triple threat fluorescent light and glass board extreme deathmatch. Your competitors, Jun Kasai, El Desperado, and Masashi Takeda. Now, of course, the ring was set up with surrounding fluorescent light tubes. There were some glass boards with some roses on them. And just, yeah. Barbed wire, you name it. They had it. And pretty much did not waste any time using those fluorescent light tubes. As a matter of fact, Takeda went right at it. And just, all 3 of these guys were bloodied up within a matter of minutes. El Desperado even got his mask ripped off and his whole face bloodied up, which that's not the first time that's happened with El Desperado. Jun Kasai, like, and then we even saw a big bed or a big pallet of nothing but forks. Nothing but forks. It was crazy. And just like I said, even extra boxes full of fluorescent light tubes. So it wasn't just the ones that were surrounding the ring, but they had extras in boxes as well. So they just really used everything that they had to offer in the ring, outside the ring, you name it. They went at it. Everybody got bloodied up all over. Like, it was definitely main event worthy. And you know what? It made sense that this was the main event. To go out with a bang like this. And sure enough, the match lasted 28 minutes and 30 seconds. So, it definitely went the distance and delivered. Jun Kasai ended up getting the victory. He pinned El Desperado after hitting that cross-armed pile driver right onto light tubes. Just got a stack of those fluorescent light tubes, did that cross-arm pile driver, pinned him for the 3 count. Jun Kasai, your winner. And I actually got a chance to meet Jun Kasai after the Prominence show that I went to. But yeah, that was a great match too. He teamed up with Dash Chisako and went up against Risa Serra and Takashi Sasaki. So that was a great main event. But yeah, got a chance to meet Jun Kasai, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, excellent main event. Shout out to referee Barb Sasaki, which he reffed like at least a good 4 or 5 of those matches at least. So definitely shout out to him. And yeah, overall the show was all right. Just that second match, I was not a fan of that second match with Hiromu Takahashi. I was not a fan of that match. Everything else looked pretty good, but that second match was trash. So, but yeah, not bad. And you know, that was a New Japan World pay-per-view. So, but yeah, not bad. Good stuff. All right. Now let's switch gears to Sareee-ism Chapter 7. Now, Crazy Fest was at Korakuen Hall. Like I said, both of these shows were on the same day. Crazy Fest was at Korakuen Hall. And, of course, Sareee-ism was at the usual spot, Shinjuku Face. Which I would have loved to have caught this show live. Because, you know, I've been to Shinjuku Face for a Marigold show when I was in Japan. Anyways, Sareee-ism Chapter 7 had a good card. Had a really good card. Let's get right on into it. First up, we had a singles match between Misa Kagura and Shia. Of course, Shia is the niece of the legendary Manami Toyota. Let's see. Match was alright. Wish it could have been longer, but I think the match only had a 10-minute time limit, if I remember correctly. Match was about almost 6.5 minutes, so I just wish it could have been longer. I know Misa definitely had the advantage throughout the match, but Shia did get in some pretty decent offense later on in the match. But I mean, let's keep it real. She wasn't beating Misa Kagura. Although I would have liked a little bit more of a better finish to this match. Misa pretty much hit a lariat, just a regular lariat, and then pinned Shia for the 3. I don't know if they were originally planning to do something different and it just fell through or whatnot, but yeah, I would have liked a better finish. But Misa Kagura gets the victory, hits the lariat on Shia, pins her for the 1-2-3, and that's first match in the books for Sareee-ism Chapter 7. Now, let's switch to some tag team action. Next up, here we go. Next up, we had some familiar faces that have competed in a previous Sareee-ism or two. We had the team of Kaoru Ito and Jaguar Yokota taking on the team of Kohaku and Yurika Oka. Like I said, familiar territory for these ladies as they have competed in previous Sareee-isms before. Match was alright. Match was pretty good. I felt like Kohaku and Yurika Oka definitely put up a decent fight. This was almost 12.5 minutes long, but definitely put up a decent fight against the veteran team of Jaguar Yokota and Kaoru Ito. You know, Kohaku's definitely one of my favorites, so I felt like she did really, really good. But just the vets were just too much for Kohaku and Yurika Oka. And finish was pretty devastating because, you know, Kaoru Ito's not exactly a small babe. She hit a diving double foot stomp on Kohaku from the top turnbuckle and then pinned her for the 3 count. So, whew. That spot probably had to hurt like crazy. But Kaoru Ito, Jaguar Yokota pick up the victory in the second match. But yeah, overall, pretty good match. Alright, continuing on with the tag team action. Next up. Alright, this time we had the team of Dash Chisako and Chi-Chi teaming up with Honori Hana, or Hana Honori, and Vinny. Good solid match. Definitely like the competitors in this match. This is This is only like my second or third time seeing Honori Hana, so still getting used to her. But the other competitors really solid. Um, Match was a little over 14 minutes, and Dash Chisako didn't waste any time getting in on the action, and interesting pairing with her and Chi Chi, but it worked out nicely. And I felt like the match was pretty. It seemed like it was pretty even with the way it was going, and it was just one particular spot that pretty much was the turning point. Um, Vinny, with the incidental contact on the spin kick, and ended up hitting her partner, Hana Honori. And then Chi Chi just went for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And was able to capitalize on the miscommunication. And therefore Dash Chisako, Chi Chi pick up the victory. But like I said, this match was pretty much both teams back and forth. And really that incidental contact, that miscommunication really was the turning point. So, but Chi Chi and Dash Chisako are your winners. All right, let's go to our next match. So, I didn't even get the updated graphic for this. I do apologize for this one. I did not get the updated graphic for it. So that's my bad. So this next match was originally supposed to be Natsupoi versus Miku Kanai. And Natsupoi did show up, but Natsupoi is dealing with an injury. I believe it was a knee injury. So it was good to see that she showed up and addressed the crowd at the show, but she would not be able to compete. So her replacement ended up being Sareee Ano. So instead we got Sareee Ano versus Miku Kanai. Great match. A great test for Miku Kanai. Of course, Miku Kanai from T-Hearts. Match was about 11 minutes, 15 seconds. Sareee Ano, I felt like, was in control for much of the match, but Miku Kanai was able to fire back with some offense and even busted open Sareee Ano. Had a cut across her top of her head, which I did not expect that to happen. But, yeah, Miku Kanai even had her in a submission at one point. So, definitely, Miku Kanai turned it up a notch, throughout the middle of the match. And, because at first, Sareee Ano was kind of bullying her at first, which she's known to do that. But, great match. Miku Kanai put up a great fight, but came up short. Sareee Ano hits the Temps Tiendre and pins Miku for the 1, 2, 3. It looked like she did her way of showing her sportsmanship, kind of grabbed her by a head. Miku slapped her, but she took it and patted her on the head, and Miku still bowed at her. So, I mean, there was some form of sportsmanship there. But Miku Kanai put up a good fight, though. She did put up a good fight. But good match. Real good match. Okay. And then the main event of Sareee-ism Chapter 7. Oh, yes. We had Sareee versus Shuri. The last time these two faced each other one-on-one, Shuri was 22 years old. Sareee was 15 years old. Keep that in mind. And of course now, I believe Sareee is 28 or 29, and Shuri is 36. So, yeah. How the times have changed. And how these two have grown. And they put on a fire, epic, greatness match of the year candidate. Right there in Shinjuku Face. Hard hitting, trading strikes, trading all sorts of offense, inside the ring, outside the ring. Both of these ladies went at it. Submissions, the works. The works. I mean, you have the two of the best in the world going at it. And I gotta give it up to Shuri for her fighting spirit, especially eating a handful of Uranagis, including a wrist clutch Uranagi. Yeah, her fighting spirit was at max in this match. But you know what? I would have liked to have seen Shuri hit a Suyu Sakai, at least one. But still, did submissions, did buzzsaw kicks, and just a flurry of offense. But both of these ladies put on a banger of a match of a year candidate. And as soon as Sareee hit that wrist clutch Uranagi, the bell rang. Time limit draw. And this match had a 30-minute time limit. It looked like Sareee was about to capitalize after hitting that wrist clutch Uranagi, but could not do it in time to get to a pin and put away Shuri. Oof. And the interesting thing is, this was her opportunity to even the series, because when they last fought each other, Shuri won. So now, Sareee is 0-1-1 against Shuri. Still has not been able to pick up that singles win over Shuri. But at the same time, Shuri did not win this match. So it ended in a time limit draw. Both got on the mic, said some words. They got in each other's faces, traded some slaps. So I don't think it's over between these two ladies. Now, it seemed like the idea was that whoever won this match would potentially be the next one to challenge Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's Championship. But being that this ended in a time limit draw, not so sure that it's going to be determined anytime soon. But I do truly believe that it's not over between Sareee and Shuri. It's definitely not over between these two. But we'll see what happens. Both of these ladies want that IWGP Women's Championship so badly. And honestly, I can't really imagine anybody else dethroning Mayu Iwatani other than one of those two ladies, to be honest with you. I just can't see anybody else doing it. So, I don't know what they might do. I don't know if they may necessarily run it back. Maybe, who knows? They could run it back in Stardom. Sareee and Shuri, perhaps run it back in Stardom. Or, I guess if they really want to make it interesting, maybe they could do something along the lines of a triple threat at All-Star Grand Queendom for the IWGP Women's Championship. Mayu Iwatani versus both Sareee and Shuri. Would be pretty crazy. Be pretty insane. 3 goats in the ring going at it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I definitely don't think it's over between Sareee and Shuri. I could see them running it back in a Stardom ring. I could see them running it back in a Stardom ring. There was one other thing I wanted to mention that happened recently. Thought was pretty interesting. So apparently, after the main event of the recent Marigold show, Marvelous invaded Marigold and has pretty much laid down a challenge to Marigold. That's right. Marvelous invading Marigold, led by Takumi Iroha. And I mean, you saw some faces in there, like you saw Takumi Iroha. There was Miyamoto, even though she's not cleared. Looked like you had Magenta in there. So, yeah. Haven't seen an invasion angle like this in a while. But you know what? I think the show before yesterday's show, Marvelous was in attendance. If I remember correctly, they were in attendance for that. So, honestly, I'm all for it. I am all for it. I mean, when you think about it, we saw something like that back in Pro Wrestling Noah. I believe it was Monday Magic. We saw Marigold kind of invade. Although I think it would have been better if they invaded a Marvelous show. But, you know, Noah, Monday Magic, because I mean, at the time they were getting ready to determine who the first GHC Women's Champion would be. But yeah, Takumi Iroha got on the mic, you know, challenged Marigold, directed at Nanae Takahashi. So supposedly March 30th at Korakuen Hall, maybe when this match happens. I don't know exactly what form this will be in. I don't know if this is going to be like an elimination match or what. But yeah. And so you had a bunch of Marigold stars in there. Like you had Mirai in there, even Hummingbird. You even had some of the rookies. You even had Yuki Mashiro, which she's mainly a freelancer. Ria Seto, you had Chika Goto in there. So, I mean, I'm curious. I'm definitely curious. I'm definitely curious to see how this goes. A war between Marigold and Marvelous. I like it. Although, you know, probably would have been nice if Utami Hayashishita was in on this. But I mean, it is what it is. Would have been nice if Chikusa Nagaya was in on this. But you know, it's cool. It's cool. But they're going to have an inter-promotional battle. Looks like it'll be on March 30th at Korakuen Hall. So you know what? I'm definitely curious to see what the card will look like. But I don't know, y'all. Who, you know, and even we got a little bit of a preview of it because they did brawl. They did brawl. I mean, they got on the mics and then they brawled for a bit. So it was a pretty nice ending. But you know, I'm curious. And even the exchange between Chika Goto and Takumi Aroha was actually pretty cool. Um, and oh, actually, that wasn't. What am I thinking? That wasn't Yuki Mashiro. That was Victoria Yuzuki. I kept forgetting that was Victoria Yuzuki, even though Yuki Mashiro had been on there a couple of times. But it was really interesting. And even the Marvelous Rookies, the two Marvelous Rookies. As a matter of fact, one of them took Nene down. I think it was. Oh my goodness! Let me look up her name because she's actually confirmed for the Marvelous show in Vegas. Let me look up her name right quick. Because me and my friends were talking about her not too long ago. Not Sora Ayame, but Senka Akatsuki. That was who it was. Who did a takedown on Nene Takahashi. I was like, what? But you know, it was cool. It was really cool to see. And like I said, they got a little bit of a brawl on. But I don't know. What do y'all think? Are y'all team Marigold or are y'all team Marvelous? I mean, let's keep it real. I feel like Marigold kind of has the numbers advantage, if you know what I mean. But I'm looking forward to it. This is something I have to keep an eye out. But anyway, that'll do it for this video. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. What did you think of the Crazy Fest show? Did you like the show? Did you like the matches? And what did you think of Sareee-ism Chapter 7? Excuse me. What did you think of Sareee-ism Chapter 7? And are you Team Marvelous or are you Team Marigold? What did you think about the challenge, the brawl? Who you got? Who you repping? And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the YouTube, the Tube, I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see you in the next video and our live stream. Laters.